excited to have Rachel on. Rachel's a great agent. She was just south of where I was from in Chico, and now I'm the team leader in Utah. So we're very, very excited and lucky to have Rachel on. So Rachel, why don't you go ahead and just tell everybody a little bit about you?
Okay, awesome. Well, first off, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So I've been in real estate 8 years. I was unlicensed at a real estate office and seeing all of these commission checks coming through. And at that point in my life, I was in a pretty unhealthy marriage. My ex-husband was 80% disabled and 50% was PTSD from the Marine Corps. And so I spent my days inspiring the agents at the office and building them up. And then I spent my nights like crying myself to sleep. So it was very challenging at that point. And I knew that I wanted a different life. I just didn't quite know how to get there. I decided to get licensed. My grandma is a real estate broker. My dad's a real estate broker. And my dad, and I always told my dad I would never, ever get into real estate. And then I heard about this class called Bold with Keller Williams. So I went to take the class. I called in sick to work and I went to the first step and heard a quote that kind of rocked my world. And it was change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. So I was always kind of in a scarcity mindset that I couldn't quit my job. It was safe. I knew how much money was coming in. And then, but I knew
what were you doing at the time?
I was managing a real estate office.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you met Patrick.
So then I met Patrick Woods. And so I interviewed with like 3 different brokerages and interviewed with Patrick. And I just felt like for the growth and the education that I needed, like Keller Williams was the place to go. Plus they had Bold. And I thought if they brought Bold, they probably knew some good stuff.
Sure.
So I ended up quitting my job and starting at Keller Williams in February of 2012, which if you guys remember that was like short sales and REOs, like it was a very different market. Mm-hmm. And I started my business very old school. I door knocked 200 doors a week and did 3 open houses a week. So for those who don't like lead gen, like think through door knocking 200 doors a week, 3 open houses. And I didn't close my first deal for the first 4 months. Right. So you really have to have like a strong mindset and like you cannot quit. I think for me, my reason of not quitting was I was so unhappy with where I was at currently in my life. I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to get out of it. And so I worked really hard that first year. And even though I didn't close any deals the first 4 months, I sold 39 homes the first year and then 109 and then 123. And that's when I hit Wall Street's top 1,000 in the country. 5 years later now, we've got hit Wall Street's every year. So, which is exciting. I run a team of 15 people here in Northern California. I live in El Dorado Hills. That's where I am right now, shelter in place.
Nice.
Yeah. But my office is actually in Roseville. And so I'm the lead listing agent on the team. So I'm still in production. I have 2 virtual listing appointments after this.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I also, I was a MAPS coach for like 4 years. So I love coaching agents. I have a Jammin' YouTube channel with like tons of free content on there for you guys. I believe in having multiple streams of income. So I also have a little side hustle where we have an anti-aging hair care and skincare company. And most recently, my favorite thing I have going in my life, besides a really happy, healthy marriage, is I have a little baby, Henry. I have an 8-month-old little baby, and he's so freaking cute.
Oh, well, it sounds to me like you just need to stop being lazy and start moving a little more and doing more.
I just hang out. I know. I have people all the time. They're like, how are you doing this? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, it's not a sexy answer. You're not going to like it. My life is time blocked. Like, I time block for work and I time block for personal time so that I can unplug. And I have really good boundaries, not always good. Don't ask my husband. I will tell you I have good boundaries with myself.
Of course.
But I work on it. You know, it's like one of the things that I really thought about before I had the baby is I always hear about the mom guilt. And it's like when you're with your family, you feel like you should be working. And when you're working, you feel like you should be with your family. So I've really just focused on being super present at whatever I'm doing. So if I'm talking to you, I'm okay that my baby is, you know, doing whatever he's doing and he's safe and he's taken care of. But if I'm with my baby, I don't want to be on my phone the whole time.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. And it reminds me of one of your famous Facebook posts with your high heels and your blisters on your feet.
Oh my God, I know. The door knocking. Yeah, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I was like, I was 26 when I got into real estate, and I really thought, I really was, marketing's big for me, and I had an image. And so I was like, well, I'm going to wear heels. So I went door knocking like an idiot with heels. And I had the worst blisters. But I got 4 listing leads that day. So I made a post on Facebook with a picture of my feet after like the aftermath with like Band-Aids on my feet. And I'm like, pro tip.
Like, yeah, exactly. Don't be wearing high heels while you're door knocking. Oh, so, because Patrick and I are friends, and, he's my coach also, and he was going to jump on the call, but he got called out to something. He was going to be on here interviewing us. He wanted me to tell you hello.
Oh, cool.
So what are some of the changes that you're having to make right now due to the coronavirus, just on your team currently? Yeah. Just what are some of the changes that you guys have had to make?
Yeah, so when everything first hit, I think we gave our team like 2 weeks to just breathe in the very beginning, because it was kind of like so many unknowns, kind of scary. And then we realized, that's when I told you, basically what that really means is I had too many cocktails and I needed a break.
You had to recover.
Transparency is important here. No, it was a lot. It was a lot for everyone. So we just kind of said, let's give it a minute, and then what we did is we actually went through our real estate process, and we wanted our agents to know that they were supported no matter what, in absolutely everything that we do, and that we still could do real estate. Now, in the beginning, California was not essential for real estate. So it was like, okay, how are we going to do this? Now we are deemed essential. So what we did is we actually, like, I sat down with my operations manager and my husband, who's our productivity coach on the team, and we worked through every single part of the real estate transaction. And we said, okay, like literally from the buyer broker to showing properties, to offering, getting documents signed, to inspection walkthroughs with the home inspector, to final verification of property. And we worked through each system to make sure that we had a virtual game plan. I am doing tomorrow. Is tomorrow Friday? I don't even know what day it is.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday. Okay, so tomorrow at, what time is it going to be? At noon Pacific. Or what time is it for you guys?
We're an hour ahead of you.
Oh, you're mountain. Yeah. Okay. So at 1:00 your time, I'm doing a virtual training actually on Facebook. So I'm doing a Facebook Live, and I'm going through my whole process of every single step. So if you guys want to tune into that, you're super welcome. Just follow me on Facebook and Instagram. So we did that.
It'd be well worth your time to do that, you guys.
Yeah. And then the other thing we did is I wanted to really support our community and our past clients and our database. So I created a script that I felt was appropriate for the season that we're in, and also had a really fun lightness to it. Can I share it with you?
Of course.
Okay. So in this script, I'm going to say the script now, but if you go to my YouTube channel, so if you go to YouTube/Rachel Adams Lee, you can hear this script. And then if you go to the body of the description of the video, you'll get to take the scavenger hunts, which is our fun giveaway. So I basically would say, I'd say to you, okay, so, say that I'm calling down, whether it's a past client or it is Joe, you're my past client. Okay. So I'm going to call you. And even if you're my past client, or if like Jordan I've never met Jordan and he's someone I meet down the street with Circle Prospecting, I would just say like, hey, Joe, this is Rachel. You're a realtor. And even if you haven't called them in a long time, hey, this is Rachel. I was your realtor back in 2014. And honestly, I just was thinking about, my clients and the community. And so I wanted to reach out. Normally I'd be calling you and I'd share with you what's happening in your current market. And I tell you, in our market, the houses that are, being bought and sold. But that doesn't really feel appropriate right now, Joe. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to call and ask you if there's anything I can do for you, personally or professionally. How are you? So is there anything I can do for you personally or professionally? How are you? And then I'm silent. And what happens is, you're going to go, can go all different directions, right? Some people are like, oh my God, human interaction. I've been waiting for this. And other people are like, I'm good. I'm okay. So in the beginning, people weren't asking how I was. They were just like, they were scared. Right. But now we've been in this long enough. They want to know, how are you doing? How is the market? Like, what's going on? And they want to know that I'm okay, because they're looking for reassurance that they're okay. Sure. That's what they want. And so what I would encourage you to do for the Utah market is I want you to look at whatever market you're in, how many houses are either being bought and sold in the last week or the last month? Like, so maybe you say, so you'd ask me like how it's going. And I would say, Joe, actually the crazy thing is it's a lot better than I thought it was. I mean, in fact, in the last month, we had 600 houses go pending. So what that means to me is that the real estate market is not only moving, it's actually doing pretty well, all considering. Now, the reason that it's going so well is if buyers, interest rates are really low for buyers. And if buyers are out there right now looking, they are serious buyers because they're willing to wear the masks and the gloves and they're serious about finding a home. And gosh, for sellers right now, Joe, there's very little inventory. So they're in a pretty advantageous position. And in fact, most of the properties I'm putting on the market, I'm getting multiple offers quickly. So, it's going really well. And
That's
then
awesome.
I would say that about real estate. Then I always talk about something personal. And I'd say, and obviously I have 8-month-old baby Henry,
Sure.
right? Because you never want to just
Get
be
that
real estate.
connection.
And then, because this is about building relationships right now. This is just about calling in, checking with your people, making sure they're okay, like just adding value to people. And then before we hang up, I say, Joe, one of the things that I'm doing right now for my community that's been really fun is I have these scavenger hunts and they're adult friendly, they're kid friendly, but one of them is like a nature scavenger hunt and it will get you outside just for some fresh, energy and some air. Can I have a good email address to shoot that over to you? It's so well received. It's just light. It's fun. People are like, yes, thank you so much. Like, I would love these,
Yeah. And some of the events that you do and all the things that you've done to build your book of business and your SOI have been brilliant. I mean, like even with the champagne stuff and all those different things. You've done a great job on building your business. And, I know you're like all of us when we started and built our teams and everything that everything went perfect. We never had any challenges. We never had any problems that went down. So what was your, when you decided to go from a solo agent and decide to add some leverage, what direction did you go and would you do anything different now?
Yeah, I mean, I did it completely wrong. Don't do what I did. I went to a mega camp and I saw all these like agents selling 500 houses and 1,000 houses. And I was like, what is the difference between them and me? Like, what's the difference? It's like, oh, they have a team. First thing I do when I get home is I'm going to ask all my friends to get their real estate license and come work for me. Not work with me, work for me. I had too big of an ego in the beginning. It was like my face, my image, my this. And I told them we were going to sell 200 houses this year. Like I didn't ask how many houses they wanted to sell. I didn't pour into them. This is kind of a weird thing, but I remember one of my agents, she was so offended that I didn't know her dog's name. And I was like, why the heck does that matter? But it matters because your people want to know you care about them.
Of course.
And in the beginning, I was just so busy doing and becoming that I didn't really take the time to slow down and care about my people as I should have. So my whole first team imploded. I actually lost a friend in the process. And I had a really neat opportunity to take a step back and look at the kind of team I wanted to create, but the kind of people that I wanted to attract. And so I got really clear on my standards. And so the other thing is like, I would just tell them things. It was like, no, this is what you expect from me, or this is what I expect from you, but this is also what you can expect from me. So I got really clear on setting the expectation and also standards. Like we have they're 1099, so you can't say you have to do this, but I can say the standard on the Rachel Adams Group is that we do 3 open houses a month. The standard on the Rachel Adams Group is we report our number 5 days a week. The standard on the Rachel Adams Group is we do script practice 3 days a week. So I have my standards, and that I would say those are probably like my 2 biggest mistakes is like ego and then not setting the expectation.
I love that because we just had another top agent from Cincinnati on this week, and and I was telling him consistently through the agents and teams that I coach, you consistently see the ones that are having problems with keeping their agents or growing or going anywhere. It's because they just don't love on their agents. And I mean, we're talking about truly care.
Yeah.
Not just fake care. Because
there's a difference.
Big time. There's a huge difference. And you really have
our
to.
Agents, we genuinely call it like our work family. I know their dog's name. I know their kids' names. I know we celebrate their birthdays. We know their spouses' jobs. Like we know what's going on with our people and we care about our people. Like one of my guys just got an exercise equipment and I'm like, how's it going? Like, it's like, but we have a really amazing culture on the team. And every Monday we do a powwow call and all the agents are on the call and we say something great that happened over the weekend and we set our goal for the upcoming week. We have a Viber chat where we talk all throughout the day. Like, and I closed on had a really, really, really challenging transaction that just closed yesterday with like 3 different delays, a Section 3 termite, which I've not heard of in my entire career, and just all this craziness. And we closed today and I shared his story on social media and 2 agents reached out to me to give me a referral from that post. Oh. Now I have, we received 123 referrals last year through social media. That's a lot of how I do my lead gen, is just this, like doing a live or talking to agents and building their business. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like, thanks for helping me build. I have a referral for you, Right. But I think that if you have this abundant mindset that like, it's okay to share your scripts at work, it's okay to share a door knocking piece or whatever, right. Like it comes back. And I think 100%. Too many times people are like I actually had an agent send me a private message. I did a live the other day, just like sharing the stuff I'm doing for real estate. And this agent sent me a private message and she was like, I can't believe you shared all of your secrets. Like people are going to take what you're doing and they're going to take your clients. And I said, oh, like that's actually not how I think. I believe in an abundant mindset. And if you give, then you're going to receive. But if you go out there and you just take, people feel that. And so it's like, I've always built my business just by sharing and giving and connecting. And normally I'm a big hugger, can't hug anyone, but.
Well, what's really, and you bring up a good point, and we all swim in different swim lanes, right? It's like it's very rare that we compete against people in our office for the same listings, because we all have our own swim lanes and our own things. So you have to come from a place. And the other thing is that talent doesn't want to be micromanaged, right? Yeah. You have to get rid of your ego, like everything, and you're hiring those people for a reason to be able to run your business through your standards that you expect.
Yeah. And you have to be willing to cut them loose. Like if they're not adhering to the standard, and because when they start on our team, we're like, what are your goals? And then we will literally say like, so this is what you said you wanted. This is what you're doing. So just to be clear, your goals don't matter anymore. No, I just want to be really clear. Like you don't need this anymore. This changed. Like what changed for you? Right. And it's helpful. I mean, I do more of like the like transactional coaching and like mindset and stuff like that. My husband is the productivity coach for our team. So he's very numbers based. Mm-hmm. And it's helpful too I'm such a believer in coaching. I had the same apps coach for 6 years and they kept telling us we had to change. And we're like, we're just going to ignore that.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do. I've been so successful so far. I don't need to change anything. Yeah. So where do you see our business going from here?
So, people keep asking, are we headed for a crash? Like what's going to happen? Like the market is shifting. Absolutely. Yes. The market is shifting. And if you are a real estate agent, you're not going to make it. But if you're a real estate professional, you're going to. But that means like doubling down on your scripts right now. Our price is going to drop a little bit. Yeah, I think they probably will, but it's not going to be immediate and it's not going to be 2008. Right. And so it's like just digging into personal growth right now, personal development while you can, surrounding yourself with the right people, being at the right real estate brokerage is a big deal. And, embracing the latest technology, learning virtual, everything needs to be virtual. And you know what, when we go back, when it's the new normal, whatever that looks like, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. And there's going to be new people and there's going to be like, not every agent's going to make it, but that's okay. And so it's just, if you dig into your scripts, you dig into your objection handlers, like that's what's going to make you successful.
Yeah. And I just did a class before you got on, and I was talking about how exactly what you're saying, that, I think it's pretty awesome, to tell you the truth. I mean, for me as a team leader, I can share my screen on Zoom and go through command and actually show the agents and they can go in. And I think that it's going to be the same way with a buyer presentation or a listing presentation, where you can be consistent within your system, because like we know, you go to a listing appointment and, we have everything up here, and how do we say it in the right order to set this all up, where I do believe that if you do a two-tiered like listing presentation, where you actually have your PowerPoint where you can walk through, you hit
Yeah.
all your points you want to hit, that's only going to make you more powerful when you go out in person.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I was like into virtual before it was cool. Like there was a day where I was wine tasting. I was like out wine tasting and I had a listing appointment and I did a virtual listing appointment in the front seat of the limo. Like I sat up with the driver and I had him walk me through their house. And I mean, I've been doing my listing so long, I have it memorized, right? But it's like, for our Zooms, we have the buyer broker up all the documents. So you can create their portal right there on the spot in MLS while you're talking to them. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's like, I don't think is it business as usual? No, you're shifting and that's totally okay.
Totally. There's going to be so many opportunities that have come out of the people that really buy into it. And instead of like, oh my goodness, what do I need to do today?
Yeah.
Let's plan out where is this going tomorrow and
exactly.
drive for that. Right. Yeah. Too many of us are just like, what do I need to go? Oh, they're just busy work trying to get through today, where I do believe there's major opportunity that's going to be coming up down the road.
No, I agree.
So let's go this way. What has been your best way to lead generate and get leads? What, like right now with the agents that we have that are newer or they're building their business, what would be the foundational lead generation things that you would do?
So normally, for new agents, your opportunity is door knocking and open houses. And that's a little bit more challenging right now, right? So you can still do an open house, but you can do a virtual open house. You need to be building relationships. You need to be reaching out to business owners and doing Zoom calls with them and reaching out to your database. There's absolutely no excuse for not reaching out to your database right now with that COVID script and those scavenger hunts. Like that's the way. What your job right now is to fill your pipeline and reach out to agents, engage in those different networking groups out there for real estate professionals, because you can get so many ideas, so many tips, like lead generation for them. They can lead gen with other agents. You never know who's going to have a client who's going to be, moving to Utah. So build relationships. Right. Reach out to your database, pour into your people, do Facebook Lives, come up with the things that matter to you in your world, your different passions, and talk about them. And the right people, you're going to attract the right people.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell all of you guys out there, you need to follow Rachel on social media. She does a great job. I mean, go as far back as you can and look at it and look at what she's doing and the consistency within it. That's why, we don't build big businesses by accident. There's success leaves clues. Yep. Right. And you have definitely been successful. So I know you need to get off the phone here, off this thing in a second here. So I'm going to ask you a really quick question. Okay. What book should we be reading that's not a Keller Williams book?
Let's see. That's not a Keller Williams book. So The Compound Effect. Okay. That's for business. I'd say Darren Hardy wrote that. That's a killer. That's one of my favorite first books that I read that I just thought, this is so good. I've read it a few times.
Yeah, that's an amazing book.
Mm-hmm. The Gifts of if you want to really, I'm a people pleaser. And so that's something I've really had to work on in real estate. There's a book called The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. That's a really awesome. Good book. She's so good. She's so insightful. That's a really good book. And what else? What else are we reading? I'm like such a reader. I read all the time.
That's really weird that you read a lot. Okay. So real quick, if you could go have dinner with anybody, who would it be? Dead or alive?
Jenna Kutcher.
Okay. Perfect. And
do you
why?
know who that is?
I don't.
So she is my girl crush. She is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and she has a house in Minnesota, and then she has two vacation properties in Hawaii. But she had bought a $300 Craigslist camera and is now a multimillionaire, and she coaches people through all online coaching. And she has a new baby, and she has her husband. And I just think that she really balances work life and family life in a beautiful way. And she coaches, which is like my passion.
What's her name?
Jenna Kutcher, Kutcher. And she also is really big on embracing body positivity. She's my jam. I love her podcast. She has a podcast called the Goal Digger Podcast, but she really embraces multiple streams of income. She's super crystal clear on who she is and who she isn't.
Right.
And she puts her marriage first, and I just am a huge fan.
That's awesome. And if you like it, I'm gonna listen also.
She's so good.
Okay, so tell everybody where you can be found so they can send referrals out to you.
Yeah, awesome. So if you go to Facebook, I'm Rachel Adams Lee. But if you're actually typing the URL, it's Rachel Adams Realtor. On Instagram, Rachel Adams Lee. YouTube, Rachel Adams Lee. And also for you guys watching, if you're wanting I do a lot of free coaching and social media and different things. If you send an email to the goods at racheladamsgroup.com, you're going to get an email back with like tons of free content and just some good stuff for you to dig into.
All right. At Rachel Adams Group.
Yep. So the goods at racheladamsgroup.com.
Rachel, you are awesome.
My pleasure, friend. Thanks for
having me. And I
really
really do appreciate you. And everybody, if you have any business in that Sacramento area, be sure to send it over to Rachel. And Rachel, we have to get you to come out to Utah.
Yeah. As soon as all this craziness is over, I'm in. I'd love it.
I've heard it's
so pretty. So I went, we did Park City and we went skiing. And that was really, really fun. But it was so pretty and everything was white. I want to come in all the seasons. I feel like it's beautiful there.
Well, we do a big event in the fall where we bring in some top agents to come. We fly you out and everything. We'd love to have you. So we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Sounds good. Have a great day.
Thanks so much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.